Welcome everyone. I will present a session about OpenAI and Microsoft Fabric and how we can use OpenAI in different way, directly and indirectly in Microsoft Fabric. Actually, these are two areas that I like and use both, especially OpenAI. So hope we will have an interesting session. I will have demos that will be at the end of the session, but if you have any questions, you can interrupt me at any moment. I'm absolutely fine with this. My name is Mihail Mateev. I'm from Bulgaria and work on Azure Data Platform and last several years on AI, especially with OpenAI and Microsoft Fabric. I'm engaging different parts from the beginning. So now I think can share some interesting insights related to how we can use the things from different technologies together. Sometimes things are already together and we just don't know about this. I will cover several topics. One interesting topic is related to Copilot for Microsoft Fabric and especially how to use it. Another one interesting is related to how we can use OpenAI and especially different type of REST services, even outside of the tenant and context of our workspace in Microsoft Fabric using Data Activator and Power Automate. This functionality is pretty interesting and useful in any context when you want to use data outside of your workspace or also to get some data from your workspace and use it for some tasks that actually requires services outside of your environment. We will talk a little also about how to use OpenAI with Fabric notebooks. Indirectly, it calls again OpenAI. There are some things that maybe we need to consider, and we'll cover some general insights about AI skills in Microsoft Fabric, which is actually specific approach to prepare your data for your organization, training OpenAI in a specific context inside Microsoft Fabric. Also, we can talk a little about retrieval augmented generation, so popular now. Always when we talk about OpenAI optimization, we also discuss RAG, but this time in the context of Microsoft Fabric. So let's just try to explain several things. Doesn't matter which part of Microsoft Fabric we touch, we need to have also some Gen AI functionalities in the modern solutions, and usually these functionalities we can meet in any kind of subparts of Microsoft Fabric. That means real-time analytics we will see with using of Reflex and Data Activator, and how this can be actually used together with Power Automate and OpenAI. This is one interesting option. When we are talking about BI, here we can use copilots. Copilots depends on capacity. Capacity should be not trial, should be fabric capacity with specific level. When we talk about data integration and data warehouse, always we can have functionalities where even with data transformations, we have advantage having OpenAI for translation, summarization, and similar tasks. And when we are talking about data science, we can have some functionalities out of the box, plus again, everything that I shared already till this moment. When we are using OpenAI directly or indirectly, calling API with notebooks, for example, we can have this in many different parts of Microsoft Fabric. Let's talk a little about Copilot. Copilot is a relatively new part of Microsoft Fabric, and it allows to have this Copilot experience already well known for Microsoft 365 and other Microsoft products. You need to have assigned Fabric capacity. This fabric capacity need to be at least F64. And in this case, you will have automatically this Copilot available. Otherwise, we will see in different situations in the demos, Copilot actually is not available. You need also for tenant settings to have also this feature allowed for user in organization. And there is one specific thing when we have capacity depends on region and specific requirements. I will not go into details for different regions, but for many regions, we need to have data and capacity in the same region. In another, it is possible to have data and capacity in different regions. In third, it is possible to have data and capacity in different regions, but by default, it is disabled, so you need to check this. For European Union, for example, for most of cases, we have option to use data and capacity in different regions belonging to European Union, but by default, this is disabled. We will see all these details on the demos. Also, of course, if you still have functional Power BI capacity, it is possible to use P1 or higher for the same reasons. We will see in the demos how exactly Copilot can work. The next topic is related to OpenAI services and data activator. Actually, I like to use OpenAI calling directly API because we have freedom, we have flexibility. We are not stuck to Copilot or some already implemented structure where we need to extend complex object models. Usually, I do tests using simple developer tools for REST, HTTP, and calls like Postman, for example, and after that prototype with low-code, no-code tools like Power Automate, simple or not so simple flows depending on the logic that need to be used when we are calling AI as a service and especially OpenAI LLM. So we can have the best from both worlds. That means to use freedom to call OpenAI API with Power Automate, having almost everything, but also to have integration with Microsoft Fabric using Data Activator. Actually, Data Activator is interesting component for low-code, no-code experience when we can have triggering of some actions when something in our data is changed. And in this case, we need to have, of course, logic about business rules and what will happen. That means when we create our workspace, we need also to implement a reflex logic. Reflex is the part where we have exactly this kind of if then else rules. What will happen when something is changed, and based on this we can trigger one or another action. Custom actions allows to have internal calls to Power Automate flows, and we can use a specific key to ensure that this call is from already considered source, and also Power Automate will not execute logic from non-secure source. Again, it is some logic that need to be used carefully, but gives a lot of flexibility. As I mentioned, it is even possible to send data from Microsoft Fabric Workspace outside of the tenant and outside of the workspace. But we will see these details a little bit later. I will use demos with sample data when we will have simulated live data, and based on some changes we'll call our Power Automate logic. Everything related to this scenario will be demonstrated later with demos. Again, when we have everything related to if then else logic in our reflex, we are creating trigger, and custom triggers are exactly what we need to use with Power Automate. Data Activator, after that, can be used in Power Automate, having a specific trigger. It is possible to start Power Automate flow with Data Activator trigger that is available in Power Automate. And code is something like this. I will show it a little later. So we can have different pre-built AI models in Fabric. Actually, it is something that is in preview, and we will be able also to use functionalities that indirectly, actually, some of these functionalities are using OpenAI. It is possible to be in the context of translation, text analysis. We can use all these features without to know how to call OpenAI. One of favorite also areas for me is to use AI, OpenAI, especially from notebooks. We can use AI functionalities in notebooks using actually SDKs that can be with 2 lines installed in our notebooks. It is possible to have also low-level calls, even REST HTTP endpoint calls. Depends on what we want in our scenarios. Usually, many very useful functionalities when we have data transformations using Fabric notebooks can be done with OpenAI. As I already gave example, it is possible to have summarization, it is possible to have translation and other functionalities that without OpenAI you need to implement in quite complex way, but with the help of libraries available for notebooks, OpenAI libraries, it works without problems. Again, you have no need to know much about OpenAI, even if these scenarios. Yes, you need to add key that is needed to have access to OpenAI service, but nothing very specific and nothing related to deep developer skills. I will show you how we execute such kind of logic with one example, and this demo I think also will be interesting. One of the next functionalities is related to AI skills. As I already explained, the idea is to have specific knowledge for organization that is prepared with the help of OpenAI in the context of Microsoft Fabric. AI skills is actually available when we are using with Synapse machine learning. It is something that requires, of course, some effort and some information to be useful. That means you can have for your organization internal guides, knowledge base in interactive way, or just like documentation, and this can be done using this feature. I will not have demo for this part because our scope is not small even without this. We can discuss outside of the session. Additionally, if you are interested about AI skills and how we can configure this. Often we are talking also how we can optimize our requests against OpenAI API, and also this can be done in the context of Microsoft Fabric, because retrieval augmented generation gave us this good advantage to have semantic description of different requests and to store requests, responses, and semantic description. That means the meaning doesn't matter how it is written because everyone have different style in the format of vectors or so named embeddings. And we can implement this logic also using Fabric. This is one of the interesting moments. It is possible to have requests against OpenAI. We can use, for example, notebooks, and using the SDK for this, it is pretty easy to have calls to GPT models, but also to get embeddings. Embeddings have specific vector format, and to be possible to have a search, we need to have, of course, appropriate database. I mean to have fast and efficient search, vector search. Nowadays, most of databases are going in this direction. Also, search services. In Microsoft Fabric, it is possible to have Azure Search. Also, it could be possible, I didn't experiment for now, but it could be possible to use also Cosmos DB and available for Cosmos DB search to use these functionalities in the context of Fabric. The idea is if we have some logic executed in different pipelines in our workspace or just in separate notebooks, even not connected to pipelines, it is possible to compare already received answers and meaning that is in the request with new requests that need to be done. And when we have very similar angle, cosinus of the angle, we can reuse already generated responses, or to put responses as context for the new request to have more precise and accurate analysis from OpenAI. So logic is not different in general from logic that we have using retrieval augmented generation for any general solution with RAG and OpenAI. We need to have the appropriate components. We need to have data that is needed for requests, depending on the logic. We need to store responses. We need to generate embeddings to be able to search after that between these embeddings using, for example, Azure AI Search or another appropriate service, and to have a flow where to have this logic. New request, let's first generate only embeddings, compare embeddings or semantic meaning with already executed requests in the past. If we have the same, perfect, no need to call OpenAI. If we have some request where embeddings are with very similar cosinus, then we can have a request where we are adding also in the context previous search to have better analysis and more precise search. So before questions, of course, it is time for demos. I will try to have for the demos several different scenarios. And let's try with scenario which is related to Copilot, because we already discussed that Copilot is available for Microsoft Fabric, but we need to have the expected capacity. So first, in admin portal, as I already mentioned, we need to consider this feature enabled, possible to be used in the entire organization or specific user groups. And here is the specifics where we can have also option to use capacity outside of the region where is data, but it depends, of course, on the region. So in documentation, there are details which regions allows this functionality, where this functionality is disabled by default, and what you need to do. Now, going back, I have some already created report, because my idea is just to demonstrate when Copilot is available or not available in this case. We can see here Copilot in the same style like for Microsoft 365, and unfortunately we see that Copilot isn't available in this report, but this is because in the workspace, when we go and choose workspace settings, now I put for license info default trial fabric capacity. It is normal people who are starting to experiment with this and using by default, for example, trial, will not see, at least in this stage for Microsoft Fabric, available capacity. So I already prepared one Fabric capacity in my Azure subscription. It is actually nothing special. I suppose most of you have experience. Fabric capacity, we are choosing Fabric capacity. After that, we need to select, of course, subscription. We need to select where will we deploy this, how will be the name, and region. Region in this case is considered the same like region that is used for our data, and of course capacity administrator. Here, if you are using different tenants for your Azure and subscription and your Fabric subscription, you need to be careful, because capacity administrator, if capacity is created in Azure, should be not a user who is guest in the Azure tenant. But going back to our already created capacity, I will resume capacity. I'm stopping it because in general, for even for test purposes, F64 is not cheap capacity. When we started we need maybe between several seconds and 1-2 minutes actually service to be workable. And when it works, we will be able to apply the changes. I will go again to workspace settings. Let's check now if we are changing and capacity is available. It is still not available because we will need several seconds more. After that, our fabric will understand that new capacity exists, and we will have it like option for settings in our workspace. Let's try now. Hope that we already spent enough time, but let's see. Yeah, fabric capacity. Fabric capacity, this time is available. And of course, we need to select the considered capacity. Select the model. These things already are not up to the case that I'm demonstrating now. What will be the semantic model? But assigning this capacity already give us the opportunity to have Copilot workable, and Copilot can make summarization and answering of some general tasks related to our data in Microsoft Fabric. So this is the scenario where we can use Copilot. Of course, with Copilot, we can have a lot of different things to do, but session is focused mostly what we need to use it and what is specific to have this functionality available. So I will be not go into more details here, and will join into other scenarios. Before to do this, actually, I will change back the capacity here to trial, and will power the service also to demonstrate that for many other functionalities, we have no need to use specific fabric capacity. It is only in the context of Copilot currently. Now I will switch to, again, one of my favorite topics related to how to call OpenAI directly, having calls against API, how to use Power Automate for this, and how to make the whole flow getting some information from Microsoft Fabric, triggering flow, and after that making some logic related to interaction with OpenAI. First, I will show Postman. Unfortunately, Postman has not this modern UI where I can easy scale fonts and everything. So maybe I will be not so flexible to make zooms here, but I will try to explain several things. I already have prepared two deployments in Azure. Even I will go to another one Azure portal instance, and I will demonstrate. I already have created two different services and specific deployments for using different models. One is actually with base GPT models and embedding models. I will show you now in AI Studio actually what we have. I have one very basic, simple model, GPT 3.5, and also another one deployment for embeddings. And I have also deployment related to GPT 4.0 and GPT 4 Turbo with Vision, because maybe I will be able also to demonstrate some details about image analysis. That I believe will be interesting also for you. Yes. These services are in different regions in Sweden Central, but again, because it is outside of the context of Fabric, we have no any limitation in this context. So usually I am using prototyping with HTTP and calls, as I already mentioned. For example, give me a second. Because it is something more funny. We can generate, for example, image or something like this. I'm using samples for both Azure OpenAI services and also direct calling of OpenAI API provided from OpenAI consortium. I suppose most of you know that if we are using Azure, we have, of course, more control about security in the context of tenants and management of users, and also we have easier control about regions and where will be deployment. Otherwise, we have only options to have routing behind the stage without to know where our request is going. Let's now try to show you generated image. For example, we can make everything from generation of images, answer of questions, or something different. I have analysis of images, I have other samples, but our focus is how to make a scenario with data activator, Power Automate, OpenAI. So after I already show how we can use simple scenarios with calling from Postman endpoints, let's try to use here additional samples related to Power Automate. I think even there are some samples. It is possible to make prototyping of even quite complex scenarios, having Power Automate and using the same logic that I'm using, for example, sending directly HTTP requests from Postman. I will show you a little more complex scenario that is part of another presentation. For example, imagine that we need to have predictive analytics. Predictive analytics where we need to analyze, for example, what will be the state of specific steel structure like this. Here you see we have a rust. We can have for such kind of analysis, more simple or more complex, pretty fast prototyping, where the main part is to send the request to OpenAI. Nowadays, in Power Automate, you can find also actions that allow you to call OpenAI for specific models, but they are not so much flexible and usually are stuck to specific model. And after time, they stop to work, and you need to get new versions, and your flows need to be reworked. In this sample scenario, I'm sending one request against OpenAI where I want OpenAI to describe the image. Image is already uploaded. You can imagine scenarios, for example, some devices, robots, drones, make observation, make photos, send it somewhere in the back, and this information out after that can be get via several steps from Power Automate and with the help of OpenAI to have even full predictive analytics. We have several steps where we are parsing the response, because usually response is sent like complex JSON structure, and in one or more steps we need to get whatever is needed for us, and after that I already have the description. I'm sending second request, or even there can be more steps, where I already having analysis from the first response can have more precise request. For example, is there corrosion? Answer me exactly with some words or something like this. We have again parsing, and after that we have a relatively simple condition, because we can filter what exactly we have like response. And for example, if we have really a situation where we need to have some actions, it is possible to send emails, call another service, or to have different action. Such kind of flows can be executed pretty simple. I will not now have full scenario, just will show the things with already implemented flow and historical data. I just received email on my mail account where I have the analysis, and it is here actually. And what exactly we have after that, like information in our email. Just apologize. It is actually the whole email, and output is just the request, which is to the mail server. So I was not very precise when I showed this a few seconds ago. So let's go to fully functional scenarios where we have, for example, Power Automate. I think this will be here. Give me 1 second to choose the right workspace. Yes, I will add another one. Second. Okay. So already created one workspace where I created reflex, that means logic, which is related to some changes in our data. How I did this, if you want to experiment, I will not provide the whole flow, but will show you just the steps. Give me 1 second. Going data activator. When we create data activator, we actually, by default, have already some predefined data that I added when created the activator. If we have prepared solution, it is possible to have custom action. I already have several, but I can show what is the scenario. You can give the name of the action. You can add some properties, fields, from where our fields are coming. They are coming when we are creating the structure of the messages using data activator. And here is the interesting part. We have this specific code that we can copy. If we have something like this, we can create a flow where we actually have trigger when data activator trigger fires, and we need to have the same connection string. And after that, we can add some other components, and we can get from data activator, for example, some fields or properties that actually are passed. In this way, you are able to transform some data outside of your workspace. Again, it is for some people, this is maybe like workaround, but from another hand, it is important feature for many scenarios. And let's try to run, for example, this trigger medicine package is too warm. Actually, Here's the case in this sample scenario is related to distribution of some packages and analyzing of information about this. I'm starting simulation, and at some moment I can send alert. To be more realistic, I will actually put this flow in real testing mode, not to use all data. And now, for example, at some moment, based on simulated data, some triggers will appear, but I also can use send trigger alert, and you see here trigger is received, mail is sent, and also I'm sending some information about the temperature to OpenAI. In this case, the whole scenario is not finished. I mean that the context is not very clarified, and I receive a response that information in this context need to be more clarified, but you understand the scenario. We can trigger some logic to send some information to Power Automate. Power Automate is calling OpenAI, and after that, different sessions, different actions can be done. And the last demo, because we have not much time, and I consider to cover only this, not AI skills, is related to another interesting area related to actually what we have for notebooks. Just 1 second to find it. Okay, I think this is the right logic. Okay, so I will demonstrate one sample notebook. I prepare it in advance because otherwise the time that is needed is a little more. Imagine the following scenario. We have lake house. Here we have some imported data from product reviews, from sample file into delta tables, nothing very special, creating notebook. After that, we can actually initiate our OpenAI connection. Here I simplified a little the sample. Usually most of the samples use the whole logic where service key is stored in key vault, but for the simplification here I make it a little shorter. And you can imagine logic where we can have, for example, transformations where we are reading information from our tables, making summary for each product. Instead to have 100 reviews, actually with the help of OpenAI, we have summary for all reviews for specific product. We are getting this summary and after that creating new table with summaries. And in general, the logic to create this is pretty simple. No need to understand how OpenAI works. You need to have several general functionalities. That means you need to have initialization of OpenAI, and you have actually logic, which is just in one part here related to summarization of the reviews. And you have after that creation of completion, where for each group of reviews you make summary. After that you write everything in separate table. So that was maybe the most important. We have a lot of options to use OpenAI with Fabric. Some of the things are integrated, some of the things need some effort to be integrated. I try to show different aspects and hope that you can find some parts of these samples useful in your work and your projects. Thank you very much for the attention. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer your questions here or later. You can contact me via email, LinkedIn, anytime.